Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2029 and a half BC, the album. Which album? The album. I swear it's coming one of these days. Dad, F. Looking for some hot stuff, baby, this evening. I need some hot stuff, baby, tonight. Wheest! Back in the day when I was just a little kid in my driveway and I didn't have any friends, I would set the radio outside and I would play my tape cassette, my 8-track tape cassette of Donna Summer, playing hot stuff, baby, this evening. And I also loved on the radio, that was like, oh my God, tragic love songs. I'd make up all kinds. Do you guys remember back in the day? Well, this was a little bit past that. But when you would wait for a song to come on the radio so that you could record it because you didn't want to go out and buy it, or you would have to go into, now we have Shazam and all this kind of stuff, but you would go into like, this is so funny to me. I don't know why. You would go into like a record store or like a tape, they would have tape cassettes and stuff when I was in high school. And like you and your friends would like love some song, but you didn't know what the song was called. And so one of you would have like be dared kind of to go up to the person that worked in there, which I don't know why, but the person that worked in the record store was always like the coolest person in the world, you know? You always had a crush on him. And you'd go up there and you'd be like, can you help me find this song? And they'd be like, yeah, what's the song called? And you'd be like, well, I don't know the name of it and I don't know who sings it, but it's like, every rose has its thorn. And then they'd be like, oh, okay, do you remember those days back in the day? Oh, late night love songs on Friday nights. Anyway, so let's get into this video today. Today, I'm gonna talk about Jeffree Star. Now, every time I make a video on, well, it doesn't really matter who I make a video on, I always upset somebody out there because they are so much in love with their idol, whoever that may be. Jeffree Star, Jacqueline Hill, Manny M.U.N., Nikki Tutorials, James Charles, hi sisters, Laura Lee, subscribe. Patrick Star in the house. But anyway, Raw Beauty Christie. I haven't sang the drama opera of 2018 in several years. So anyway, I thought I'd put that out there. But no, seriously, whoever I talk about, whether it's Trisha Paytas or Jeffree Star, I always get these, comments, not many, but I get a few. And people are like, you're so mean to these people. Like, you really have a hate boner for these people, okay? Like, I just have to tell you, like, no matter how many times I say it in videos, it's the truth, right? Like, as soon as I'm done making my video, I kind of go on about my day. Like today, I have been outside in the sunshine. It is gorgeous in Indianapolis today. It is like 97 degrees. I've been out there talking to my neighbors. I've been just like schmoozing. I think I might run for the HOA board the next time that there's an election, which is in the fall. So yours truly may be campaigning for the HOA so I can get some things changed around here, okay? I don't like the landscaping. I don't like the landscaping, so we're going to get some things changed in the neighborhood around here. And I, yours truly, am going to run for HOA, I don't know, secretary, president, beauty queen. It doesn't really matter, okay? I love a good pageant. Isn't an HOA, what would we call that? An HOA campaign, I don't know, what would we call that? I like to imagine it as a beauty pageant, okay? I love a good pageant. I love Miss Continental, National Entertainer of the Year, Miss Gay US of A. I love a good pageant. Miss Universe, Miss America, Miss USA. I love any kind of pageant, okay? So I'm basically running for the neighborhood pageant, okay? But anyway, I wanted to, first of all, address something that people may not know. So I consider myself, call me whatever you want, a tea channel, a gossip channel, a commentary channel. There is a huge discussion over like how people classify themselves. I don't really care, okay? I really don't. I just get on video and give you my opinion about whatever topic is going on, and I kind of give you the facts, and I give you my opinion, and then I give some 2 cents about it based on life experience. Take it or leave it. I don't really care. Thank you so much for watching my video. And that's truly how I feel. And when I'm done recording the video, I upload it and I go on about my day. That's really it, you know? But I do think it's important to take a look at the definitions of gossip and opinion. So I want to get on here really quick and I want to look at the definition for gossip. Gossip is casual or unconstrained conversation or reports about other people, typically including details that are not confirmed or being true. And that, I think, is very telling of my channel from time to time, you know? Okay, so that is what gossip is. An opinion, it's my opinion! Okay, an opinion is a view or judgment formed about something, not necessarily based on fact or knowledge. I think we all have those. I think we know that opinions are like, you know what? We've all got them, okay? We've all got them, even me. The difference is, I have a YouTube channel where I share gossip that is based on these people's actions. I form an opinion and I share my opinion, okay? It's no different than you guys watching whatever you're watching and giving your opinion to your spouse or your friend or sitting out loud. I mean, I watch some of this stuff going on and I say out loud to myself, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. You know what I mean? So it's no different than any of that, okay? Let's keep it real over here. Okay, what we're not gonna do in 2022 is make gossip drama commentary channels the drama of 2022, okay? Nor are we gonna make Jeffree Star the drama of 2022, you know what I mean? So anyway, I started receiving all of these like direct messages and I was getting tagged in a few things on Twitter from people asking me to go watch the Jeffree Star interview on Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive. Now, I have to tell you, I'm sure this is a surprise to many of you, I'm not a fan of boxing, okay? Look, you better watch out because I got a knuckle sandwich for you, okay? But no, I am not a huge fan of boxing and I don't really care about Logan Paul's content. So there's really no reason for me to watch Logan Paul unless he gets himself into some kind of trouble or there's some drama surrounding him or whatnot. And definitely there's no reason for me to watch his brother Jake Paul, okay? I could care less. Bore a snake as far as I'm concerned. I kind of really don't understand how some of these people have gotten to the top of their game. Like, I really don't. When I watch content creators, videographers, people with cameras, whatever you want to call them, that have so much more innate talent, creativity, and just to me, is just, I'm blown away by it. And then I watch videos or podcasts, like Logan Paul says he is the #1 podcast in the world or something like that. And I'm sitting there watching it and I'm thinking to myself, why? Like, I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, there's nothing, like, he's not bad in the podcast, you know? So it's whatever, but it's not exciting to me. Like, if Jeffree Star hadn't been on it, I wouldn't have watched this podcast. So I went to the podcast. Listen, I did for you what I wouldn't do for anybody else. I watched this podcast, okay? All out, it's like an hour and 4 minutes or an hour and 2 minutes or something like that because I really did want to see what Jeffree Star had to say. I thought this is kind of an interesting combination. You know, Jeffree Star's been on Keemstar's mom's basement and I thought this will be interesting. He kind of feeds out things. Well, at that time, that was like a year after Dramageddon, and so he kind of, or I think it was, he kind of fed, year and a half, he kind of fed some things out there, and that's what Jeffree does in these videos, is he alludes to things, but he really never, he is so good at kind of, you know, like saying, if somebody asks him a direct question, he answers this question over here, and he brings out something else, and of course he did that in this interview as well. Now, I tried to go into it with an open mind, but I had gotten a few people that said to me, I'd like to know what you think about Jeffree Star's interview on the Logan Paul podcast. It's so cringy to watch. Like, that was the common theme of the comments that I was getting. So I went over to Logan Paul's podcast, and it is called Impulsive. You can just look up Logan Paul Jeffree Star, which is what I did, and it'll come up. Now, I want to read to you the description box underneath the video. Before I even started watching it, I read the description box, okay? And I was like cringed out already from the description box. So the title of the podcast is Jeffree Star on Hooking Up with Kanye West, which is like 2 seconds of the, it's just all clickbait. Fall of Shane Dawson, Impulsive, episode 330. YouTube's wealthiest makeup artist, Jeffree Star, joins the boys to discuss hooking up with Kanye West and pro athletes, NBA, NFL, golf, confronting a micro penis, having a threesome in 8th grade, sucking over 1,000 eggplants in his lifetime, wildest pansexual experiences, living in Wyoming with 100 guns and 1,000 yaks, having a homeless mother, fall of beauty YouTube, Shane Dawson, James Charles, Tati, Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and more. Okay, and that is really the podcast, but the issue with that is in the description box, which is, you know, of course, to get you to watch the podcast, is that most of what he talks about in there, of those things in the description box, are literally like 2 seconds of the podcast. Really, I would say the majority of the podcast, and this is what is so cringy to me about it, is that it's really mostly about Jeffree Star's sexual life. And watch it if you don't believe me. There's, you know, here's my thing, and I've said this several times in videos, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe other people feel another way, but I have never, from the inception of me watching Jeffree Star videos and covering Jeffree Star content and doing drama commentary, gossip videos about Jeffree Star, I have never been greatly interested in the sex life of Jeffree Star, you know? The romantic life of Jeffree Star and him in a relationship. Yeah, absolutely. I was very interested in that. I love seeing him and Nathan together, and he actually talks about that in here, and in a very nice way. He says, you know, that was the love of my life, and if I never fall in love again, then at least I've experienced love. And it was, that part really showed maturity to me, and I really appreciated how he discussed that in there. The problem is, okay, I don't think that most people, and I don't think the audience, most of Jeffree Star's audience, really is that interested in the sex life of Jeffree Star. I just don't think they are. And so when that's a constant go-to for him, I'm like, you think this is what people are interested in? Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. And what's interesting about this is, okay, you think about Jeffree Star, and this is the thing. I want to quote this one thing, because I took some notes, and I wrote down some quotes that they had in here. And at one point, I can't remember his name, but it's Logan Paul's partner. There's like 2 partners on the show. But he said, I think it's Mike, and he says, we've tried to change the topic 400 times, but since you're going to keep talking about it, referring to oral sex. And Jeffree Star literally will not get off the topic, okay? I mean, he's talking about how he deserves a gold medal for it, and, you know, how many D's. Nobody cares about that, okay? They just don't, okay? And I've said it before, and I can say it again. We can all suck a D, okay? Like, seriously. Like, it's not like that takes brain science. What does take brain science, and what does take good marketing, he says in there that he's obsessed with marketing, and he's obsessed with being a businessman and all this kind of stuff, right? Where he alludes to that fact. But he says he's very interested in marketing. And I'm thinking, other than these very contrived photo shoots that you put out, that I think are problematic at best, and other than causing drama to pull attention to whatever brand or product that you're releasing, what marketing do you do? Like, what is your marketing tactics? And the thing that's interesting to me is, you have 2 people here, okay? Logan Paul and Jeffree Star that have really reached the top of their game success-wise on YouTube, okay? And in their fields. Maybe Jeffree Star not today, but back in the day he was at the top of his field. And you're gonna get on a video, or you're gonna get in an interview, and for an hour, for the majority of an hour, you're gonna talk about secondies. Who cares? Nobody cares. This could have been such an interesting interview. And honest to God, I blame Logan Paul for this, okay? Logan Paul allowed this interview because he thinks it's funny and whatever. And it's interesting because at times Logan Paul seems a little uncomfortable with it. But it goes overboard. It doesn't stop. And then at the very, I mean, Jeffree Star was in control of this interview the entire time. He wasn't going to talk about anything that he didn't want to talk about. But it just goes overboard. It's so constant. And at one point, Jeffree Star's talking about, they're asking him, like, how he hooks up with people and whatever. And he's like, well, they usually reach out to me in my DMs, or it's just, like, very private conversation that occurs. And, of course, it's the same old, you know, NFL, NBA players. He throws out golf at one point and jokes about that, right? And he's like, the reason that people hook up with me is because they know that I'll never out them. Like, and he's got apparently videos of these people doing things with him and whatever. But that he could, like, OnlyFans reached out to him, and they offered him like 7 figures to start an OnlyFans, whatever. And he's got all the video content for it, but he just doesn't think that right now in his career is the right time to, you know, do all that. Hey, listen, I've known people that have been reached out to by Playboy in the past, and they're just like, that's just not what I want to do with my career right now, and all this kind of stuff back in the day with Playboy. And so I understand what he's saying about the OnlyFans thing, but it just was like this whole sexual tone. So he's talking about how he, like, will never out these people, rap stars, NBA players, all this kind of stuff, right? And he's like, I will never out them, and so they know it's safe to be with me. Hold on a second. At the end of the interview, after he starts bringing out all these blunts and smoking them with this guy next to him on the couch, okay? And they're high, laughing, telling all these sexual stories. He starts showing pictures of this guy, this one guy, right? So he shows this picture and he's like, this is what I like. And I think the first picture doesn't have a face on it. But the second picture, Logan Paul says his face was in that one. And then he's like, are you sure he's okay with that? And Jeffree Star's like, yeah, he's okay with that. And I'm like, wait a second, right? And he's like, now I would never show this and out him. And I'm like, you just did. You just did to 3 people sitting here, right? Like, whoever that person is out there, I'm sure that they love that you're, like, showing this all around. And he's like, I'm safe because I'll never out the picture. And a half an hour later, he's outing a picture. And I'm like, you are such a liar. Like, you just proved what a liar you are, you know? And people are like, Jeffree Star doesn't lie. He lied in the interview on the Logan Paul podcast. Impulsive. Go watch it. You don't need Peter Monn to tell you. He says that people sleep with him because he would never out them, and then he outs them, showing the picture. Logan Paul even calls it out and says, but his face is in this picture. I don't understand where people don't connect these things, you know? But of course, the drama commentary. We're the ones making up the narrative. We're the ones that, these drama commentary channels, they make up the narratives, they make up all this kind of stuff. So anyway, let me refer to my notes for just a second. It was just so cringe. Okay, he goes in and he starts talking about, they ask him something about the beauty industry, like on YouTube, and he says something to the effect of that the reason why beauty isn't big on YouTube anymore is because of all the other beauty influencers got jealous of he and Shane having the biggest release, and they caused a bunch of drama. Woo! Okay, so the reason, let me for a second use a little bit of The Lunar Beauty by Manny MUA. I bet he is so happy that he is not friends with Jeffree anymore. Let me use a little bit of the world's best lip gloss in the entire world. And it doesn't come from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, I can tell you that. You know, so here is Jeffree's. This is where people are like, Jeffree's learned a lot. Like, he's a changed person. Jeffree Star believes the downfall of the beauty community, okay, came as a result of all of the beauty influencers out there being jealous of the release of Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star's conspiracy palette, which everybody now, well, the majority of people call a cash grab, okay? But they got so jealous of that because there had never been anything released about that before, and so they caused a bunch of drama. Jeffree, I don't know if you remember how things went down, okay? But that's not necessarily true. Then Logan says something to him about, are you talking about like the drama between Tati and James? And Jeffree Star says yes. So basically blames everything on James and Tati. And I'm like, do you not remember coming on Snapchats and Instagram stories and coming for your friends and all of the drama that you've been involved and how much negativity you added to the beauty community and all the allegations of the past and how many gold couch videos you were forced to sit down in and take accountability and apologize for things in the past and talk about what a changed person. Did you not forget? Have you forgotten about that? Are we rewriting history a little bit? Is this where we take our Hogwarts wand and we rewrite history? And this is where what kills me is that these beauty influencers, some of them, but Jeffree Star being one of them, always says, like drama commentary channels and gossip people and whatever, they want to rewrite history. No, let me tell you the importance of drama commentary channels. We remember the history, okay? Because we were there to report on it when it first went down. And the accusations against Jeffree Star and the allegations have been going on for years and years and years and years and years, okay? And if you don't think that this video, this interview with him is problematic, just watch it. Because he basically says, I don't care what anybody says to me anymore. Okay? And I don't give an F. Well, he never has. And he has shown that. But he has made the videos to appease the people. Well, you might ask yourself, why did he do the gold couch video? Why did he make the video where he was sitting here very still and he was like, I'm never going to do this again? At the time of the James Charles, Tati Westbrook drama, of which he inserted himself in the middle of and was very much a part of, okay? Tweeting out about Tati, coming against James, all that stuff. I remember it all. I was there when it went down. I was making the videos, okay? I don't care how he wants to remember it. Jeffree Star was right in the middle of that. As was Shane Dawson, which was what instigated the beginning of the end of Shane Dawson, okay? When he was supposedly canceled or whatever. So Jeffree Star can remember this however he wants to remember it, but I remember it, and he was an integral player in the drama that occurred. So if he wants to say the beauty industry is destroyed because of the drama, he's a part of that, okay? Take some responsibility instead of sitting there and acting like it never happened, you know? And it's so interesting to me, like, in the other drama channels that I talk to every once in a while, that would be like a common theme of things that we talk about sometimes is like, it's so interesting how people forget history. It's so interesting how people forget, or they weren't there when this stuff went on. You know, people didn't have channels, or they weren't doing this commentary. And so it's like you only remember from 2020 on. You don't remember from 2020 but all the way back. I mean, some of us have been around forever, you know, not forever, but for a long time. And, you know, it's interesting sometimes too when I see these, you know, people talking about their careers on YouTube. It was like, I think it was Laura Lee, and she said something about how long she's been on YouTube. And I thought, Laura Lee hasn't been on YouTube a whole lot longer than I have, you know? And so we've been covering these people, many of them, almost as long as their careers have been on YouTube. But of course, we're the ones that are rewriting history. No, like I said, drama channels remember the correct history because we were there reporting on it originally, you know? And we were there reading the comments. We were the ones hearing the voices of the people out there that didn't feel like they had a voice, the audience, right? So that was really interesting to me that Jeffree Star wanted to blame everything on Tati and James Charles. This is where I really don't understand. Like, Jeffree Star could come on there and just be like, yeah, the beauty industry is not what it was, and we were all part. Why not just say, we were all part of this huge drama that it was just such a mess, and I wish it wasn't that way today. You know, this is where arrogance, ego, and pride come in the way of not being able to take any accountability and be able to say, oh my God, it's such a mess. And I look back on it, it was ridiculous that we got all so involved in drama. And you know what? Even though I'm not friends with these people today, I'm happy that they have careers that are thriving and they're happy with, and I have careers that I'm thriving, and I have 5 businesses, and on and on and on. Why not say that? That, to me, that would be such a classy move, and that would be such a moment where I would be like, God, like, he has kind of changed a little bit. To show growth, to say, even though I'm not friends with these people anymore, I still encourage their careers, and I wish them the best. And you know what? We were all part of this. Why is that so hard to do? You know, and don't come for us drama channels, because most of us drama channels who have had a falling out at one time or another, we have said those things about each other and mended fences and been like, I wish you all the best, and we are now civil to each other. So don't come for us drama channels. Don't! Listen. This ain't my first time at the rodeo. Anyway, so, you know, it's interesting to me when people want to talk about how much growth these people have. That would have been a moment. But years later, blame it that other beauty influencers were jealous. It's always that, right? It's always people are jealous of me. People want to be with me. Every woman wants to be with me. Every man wants to be. And what's interesting as a beauty influencer, and he caught himself real quick in this, but Jeffree Star said something to the effect of, they were talking about like hooking up, and Jeffree said something about like 10s, like on a scale of 1 to 10. And he was like something about that we only hook up with 10s, meaning he and like Logan Paul. And he caught himself really quick because he knew, because I was like, ooh, no. Like, you're in the beauty industry, okay? You're in and this is another thing that has always just mystified me for years. You're in the business to make people feel beautiful about themselves that sometimes don't. You know, that they buy your makeup and it makes them feel good about themselves and it makes them feel special and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And he's talking about this aspect of physical beauty on a scale of 1 to 10. And I'm like, what is this? The hot list from high school again? Like, seriously? This is how you view people. And Jeffree Star doesn't want any of that out there. He doesn't want his audience, that is also the customers for his business, he doesn't want them to know that this is how he sees people, you know? That he views the world based on what kind of score you get on a beauty-wise or all this kind of stuff. And, you know, he'll only hook up with famous people and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, so one of the other things that he said in there when they were talking about like comments and negativity and whatever, and Jeffree said, you know, I used to let that bother me, but I don't let that bother me anymore. And he said, let people have their say. I don't want to shut anybody out. Can I get a high five for anybody out there that's been blocked by Jeffree Star in the last 2 years, please? Okay, in the comment section below, let's just get a sound off to all the people that have been blocked by Jeffree Star in the last 2 years. I'd be interested in knowing about that for those people that haven't been able to have their say. A quote by Jeffree Star. He wakes up they asked what was a day like in the life of Jeffree Star, and he said, I wake up every day ready to F twirl. If you didn't get that, it's the... I don't even know how to do it in a video. It's the... Oh my God, and twirl. Been around the world and I can't find my baby. You know what? After making this video, I'm gonna need Jesus. I am. My God, I'm gonna need Jesus. She's not a Christian. So anyway, and then he goes on, and I put on here at the very bottom, or at the second to last, I put, it's just dick, talking about dick sucking the whole video. That's all it is. And listen, okay, if you're into that, go watch the video. You'll hear all about it. You'll hear how Jeffree Star could teach anybody in the world and whatever, on and on and on. And so yeah, and that was basically the video. So I don't know what people want me to say about it. What did I think at the end of the day? I thought it was boring. I thought it was a boring interview that really showed Jeffree Star's immaturity, and I really thought it showed his inability to be authentic and genuine, okay? Because if you know that this is your the biggest podcast in the world, supposedly is what Logan Paul says, and you know that your business is not doing as well as it was doing before, what an opportunity, okay, that you take because you're such a genius in marketing and you love marketing. What an opportunity to come on there, because Jeffree Star has personality. He has the ability to be humorous, to come on there, okay? Make 5 minutes of it sexual if that's what you want to do. The rest of it, he does talk about his businesses in there, but very, very quickly he talks about them. Get in there and talk about your business. To me, the things that were interesting were like when he was talking about his mother on there, okay? And Logan Paul asked some very important questions. That was very interesting to me. Or when he's talking about the 3 lipsticks that he first came up with when he was living in this apartment that catapulted him into superstardom and, you know, financial riches like he has today. Those are the stories that people want to hear. You know, he talked about that he's writing a book and that he's really excited about being released, but he wouldn't really say anything about that, which I understand. You know, he can't say much about it, but he could say, you know, this is what inspired me to want to write a book, or these are, you know, people have this misconception about me. Well, what is that misconception that people have, right? But it's Jeffree Star sitting on a couch, drinking a Red Bull, smoking a blunt, talking sexual again. And for me, to see growth and change in somebody, you have to display that by actions. You not just consistently show that you're the same person that you were 5 years ago. This is a Jeffree Star of 5 years ago to me, right? I think it could have been such a powerful interview. A really, really powerful interview. And like I said, I don't necessarily blame that on Jeffree Star, you know? I think Logan Paul has a huge part to do with that as well, because I think that it has a lot to do with the interviewer. You know, when you allow yourself in an interview to be completely just like, you know, steamrolled by the person that's being interviewed, what does that say about your skills as a person that's being interviewed? I don't know, you know? Maybe Jeffree Star is too hard of an interview. Maybe they didn't care. Maybe it was supposed to be just casual. Who knows? I think lovers, diehard fans of Jeffree Star will find this interview entertaining, and they'll like it, and it's very tongue-in-cheek, Jeffree Star. But I didn't learn anything I didn't already know, and I didn't learn anything that I cared about, in all honesty. And also for me, and this is always how I feel about, like, when I watch moments like this, it was a missed opportunity. It was really a missed opportunity for what could have been a prepared interview. And I know people are going to be like, it was just supposed to be lighthearted. It was just supposed to be fun. But Logan Paul even said, we've been trying to get you on here for a very long time. And, you know, it just could have been such a powerful interview, and it really could have shown Jeffree Star in a different light, you know? Sometimes you see who somebody truly is through the eyes of another person, and being that Logan Paul and Jeffree Star are so completely different, we could have really seen a different side of Jeffree Star, but we didn't. So, I didn't. So anyway, let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.